welcome to the first edition of the Unmade Bedtime Stories with Seattle Seamstresses. You have here the very own Mistress Cora. You may recognize me from past November, as Madame Lou Graham opened our parlor doors to the general public to pique their interest in our sort of business. However, the only loving that will be happening tonight is my dulcet tones reading famous love letters. And boy, do I have some scandalous words for you. It gives a bit of an insight into the personal life of someone I'm sure you've heard before. I'll give you a bit of a hint. He's an Englishman. He's a redhead, and like all the men that I deal with on a daily basis, he's an entitled rich man. Well, interesting enough, he was athletic and very pleasing to the eye when he was younger, though due to the curse of old age and consuming a deliciously fatty food, his health declined, and he's divorced 2 wives. Only one survives, and he has died unhappy, unhealthy, and unfaithful. Though, to be honest, if every man was faithful, I'd be out of a job. You might have guessed it. It is the very own King Henry VIII of England. I will only be reading some letters that piqued my interest, and I'm sure they'll pique yours too. And without further ado, let's get to the words of King Henry VIII. Letter 1. My mistress and friend. I and my heart put ourselves in your hands, begging you to recommend us to your favor, and not to let absence lessen your affections to us. For it were a great pity to increase our pain, which absence alone does sufficiently, and more than I could ever have thought, bringing to my mind a point of astronomy, which is, that the farther the moors are from us, the farther too is the sun, and yet his heat is the more scorching. So it is with our love. We are at a distance from one another, and yet it keeps its fervency, at least on my side. I hope the like on your part, assuring you that the uneasiness of your absence is already too severe for me, and when I think of the continuance of that which I must of necessity suffer, it would seem intolerable to me, were it not for the firm hope I have of your unchangeable affection for me. And now, to put you sometimes in mind of it, and seeing I cannot be present in person with you, I send you the nearest thing to that possible, that is, my pictures set in bracelets, with the whole device, which you know already, wishing myself in their place, when it shall please you. This from the hand of your servant and friend, H. Rex. Letter 2, to my mistress. Because the time to me seems very long since I have heard from you, or concerning your health, the great affection I have for you has obliged me to send this bearer to be better informed, both of your health and pleasure. Particularly because since my last parting with you, I have been told that you have entirely changed the opinion in which I left you, and that you would neither come to court with your mother, nor any other way, which report, if true, I cannot wonder at, being persuaded in my own mind that I have never committed any offence against you, and it seems a very small return for the great love I bear you, to be kept at a distance from the person and presence of a woman in the world that I value the most, and if you love me with as much affection as I hope you do, I am sure the distance of our 2 persons would be a little uneasy to you, though this does not belong so much to the mistress as the servant. Consider well, my mistress, how greatly your absence grieves me. I hope it is not your will that it would be so, but if I heard for certain that you yourself desired it, I could do no other than complain of my ill fortune, and by degrees abate my great folly, and so, for want of time, I make an end of my rude letter, desiring you to give credit to this bearer in all he will tell you from me. Written by the hand of your entire servant. Letter 4. By turning over in my thoughts the contents of your last letters, I have put myself into a great agony, not knowing how to understand them, whether to my disadvantage as I understand them, whether to my disadvantage as I understood some others, or not. I beseech you now, with the greatest earnestness, to let me know your whole intention as to the love between us two. For I must of necessity obtain this answer of you, having been above a whole year struck with the dart of love, and not yet sure whether I shall fail, or find a place in your heart and affection. Oh, this uncertainty has hindered me of late from naming you my mistress, since you only love me with an ordinary affection. But if you please to do the duty of a true and loyal mistress, and to give up yourself, body and heart to me, who will be, as I have been your most loyal servant, if your rigor does not forbid me, I promise you that not only the name shall be given you, but also that I will take you for my mistress, casting off all others that are in competition with you, out of my thoughts and affections, and serving you only. I beg you to give me an entire answer to this my rude letter, that I may know on what and how far I may depend. But if it does not please you to answer me in writing, let me know some place where I may have it by word of mouth, and I will go thither with all my heart, no more for fear of wanting you. Written by the hand of him who would willingly remain yours. H. Rex. Letter 11. The approach of the time, which I have so long expected, rejoices me so much that it seems almost ready to come. However, the entire accomplishments cannot be till the two persons meet, which meeting is more desired by me than anything in this world. For what joy can be greater upon earth than to have the company of her who is my dearest friend, knowing likewise that she does the same on her part, the thinking of which gives great pleasure. You may judge what an effect the presence of that person must have on me, whose absence has made a greater wound in my heart than either words or writing can express, and which nothing can cure but her return. I beg you, dear mistress, to tell your father from me that I desire him to hasten the appointment by 2 days, that he may be in court before the old term, or at farthest on the day prefixed, for otherwise I shall think he will not do the lover's turn as he said he would, nor answer my expectations. No more at present, for want of time, hoping shortly that by word of mouth I shall tell you the rest of my sufferings from your absence. Written by the hand of the secretary, who wishes himself at present privately with you, and who is, and always will be, your royal and most assured servant, H. No other, A.E. C. King Henry VIII to Jane Seymour, written while Anne was still his wife. Scandalous. My dear friend and mistress, the bearer of these few lines from the entirely devoted servant will deliver into thy fair hands a token of my true affections for thee, hoping you will keep it forever in your sincere love for me. Advertising you that there is a ballad made lately of great derision against us, which, if it go much abroad and is seen by you, I pray you to pay no manner of regard of it. I am not at present informed who is the setter forth of this malignant writing, but if he is found, he shall be straitly punished for it. For the things ye lacked, I have minded my lord to supply them to you as soon as he can buy them. This hoping shortly to receive you in these arms, I end for the present. Your own loving servant and sovereign, H. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our time together. However, you can tune back in this Sunday to hear more of my dulcet tones bring life and passion back into the words of those who have passed. Next time, I will be reading a letter from one of the big H. Rex's wives. Which of the 6? You'll have to tune in to get your fix. This is Mistress Cora signing off, wishing you the deepest of sleeps, the pleasures of dreams,